Three, two, one. What's up, guys? We are live. Welcome to the Jason J. Daniel Show, the Indiana Fever post-game show. It's game five of the season. Yeah, game five. Wasn't that great? That was great. That was probably one of the worst. I'll just say three. The first quarter was dope. The worst three quarters probably of any team that's played three quarters this year, maybe except for the Sky in Connecticut. Um, Not good, man. Even worse is my graphic has a typo. I'm gonna fix that right here. I can't stand that. Yeah. So thanks for joining me, guys. My name is Jason J. Daniel. We all know we need to put an I there. We all know that Caitlin Clark is out, man, and that's a problemo. Caitlin Clark is out for 2 weeks with the quad sprain, uh, and it's bad. It's bad right now. It might get worse. That's my message to you guys who are big fans of the FIBA. But look, we knew this was a possibility. We really did. We knew that you're going to have a different offensive set. You're going to have different starters. It's a different team without Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Maximus Gotis, the great one, not with us. So give me a second, guys. I just have to do a sound check because, as you know, I am my own producer. Okay, cool. Let's listen to this here. Let's not with us. So okay, cool. All right, we are. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's bad. It might get worse. No win tonight. Game five, 83-77. The Fever go down. Bewitched by the Mystics. Little voodoo power of those Mystics right there. The young Mystics. They're saying it's the youngest team in the WNBA, and they took advantage of their youth. They really did, and this just really hit the Fever hard in the second half with the same intensity that the Fever brought to them in the first quarter. That was pretty much the only bright spot that I saw. I mean, there's a few bright spots. One bright spot was Caitlin Clark looks happy. She's doing babysitting and taking pictures and being coached. So we're good with that. So she's feeling good to do that. The other bright spot is, Lexi Hull had a down game, but she's still your most consistent player. And that was it. And then you get a chance to do it again. Okay, that's the other bright spot. There's a few more. We'll get into it. If you want to jump in the chat, please do. My subscribers and viewers are growing. My last show, huge numbers. So thank you guys on X. I appreciate that. And you guys on YouTube, thank you so much. Again, my name is Jason J. Daniel. Let me just put this up here. I am Jason J at Jason J. Daniel everywhere on social media. If you want to find me on TikTok, I do WNBA TikToks. My TikTok is popping about 8,000 followers and probably 1,000 nasty comments a day. So yay. That is it. Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok, on the old TikTok machine for more WNBA talk. And I post clips from here, not a bunch, but a few. But I do original content that are obviously TikTok content. If you ever watch my shorts or you watch my TikToks, it's the same stuff. My shorts on YouTube. If you watch my shorts, that came out weird. But anyway, there you go. So just to remind you, I know you don't need this, but Caitlin Clark is out for 2 weeks or more with the left quadriceps strain. So this is what we're looking at. This is what we're dealing with. I looked at the numbers, and the FIBA, they're again just bad at the free throw line. Actually, DeWanna Bonner, your bright spot on that. We'll get into that. A little preview on that. Probably played. I'd say Bonner probably. Not really. I was gonna say no one really played. No one played good. I mean, Boston probably was. Yeah, Boston was your bright spot. She had less minutes and she was 80%. And she was 4 for 5. Look at that, 4 for 5 when she had opportunities. But her offense totally went down without Caitlin Clarkus Maximus, the great one. Without the great one, everybody's offensive efforts go down. You're losing. I mean, let's look at it. They lost by what? What was the points again? They lost. Okay, I have it in front of me. Duh. 83-77. So they didn't even get close to 90. With Caitlin, you're looking at least 20 more points. So you're missing some offense there. Clearly, the team can't make it up. They're capable, but they couldn't do it. So there you go. You have been reminded, all my peoples. So the Mystics came out and just did their old voodoo on everybody and pretended to be a bad team early, and then decided to be a really decent team down the stretch of the game. They don't have any superstars. We'll go through their stat lines, but they had some very solid effort, and you want to beat the Fever. You really do. And I've told you guys before, everybody's going to be bringing their A game against the Fever, whether Caitlin is there or not, because here's how it works. You always plan for a superstar to come back suddenly. Now, we knew she wasn't coming back tonight, but you never know, right? It's all subject to medical staff, subject to all these factors you can't control. So if you're a team that's going to play the Fever in the next 2 weeks, you're ready. You're ready. Guys, thanks for watching on YouTube. I really appreciate it. We're going over the loss for the Fever. This is a Fever show, clearly, so not a Mystic show or a WNBA show. I will talk about, obviously, the WNBA and the Mystics and other teams, but just so you're aware, if you're joining me, this is a show about the Fever, so I'm going to break down the Fever and be critical. I'm going to be critical tonight, going to be harsh. You might call me mean, but some people would say realistic. What we watched tonight was a tutter. What? Watch where I'm going. Total waste of time. I just put two words together. Accidentally, or maybe on purpose. It was a total waste of time. It really was. And so you're going to see people just dropping off in the next 2 weeks. They're not going to want to waste their time watching this. This was bad basketball. I'm sorry. I got to be honest. Like, I love this team, and I really enjoy. In fact, I enjoy the players. I enjoy the players this year more than I did last year. I feel more bonded to them. Like Lexi Hull, I love me some Sophie C. Even Howard is aggravating, but still I'm loving some Howard. DB was like my nemesis. Did not like some DB last year. But look, she's joined forces. So this is our team. I like Colson. I do miss I miss the point guard option they had last year to back up Caitlin. And that's clearly missing. They don't have a point guard option right now without Caitlin. I guess that makes sense why they play Caitlin at the point. She's really a two. I mean, she's a guard, so she can go both ways. But she's a little taller for a normal point. Normally, the points are like Colson size. I mean, it is what it is. In this game, there's a lot of hybrids that are larger. But that's a problemo. Here's another problemo. Point is problemo when she's not in. Kelsey Mitchell, Cowboy Kelsey Mitchell loves to shoot, man. Yeehaw! She's rootin' tootin'. Boom, 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 boom. Let's just shoot, everybody. Let's just shoot everything. Let's just shoot. Kelsey Mitchell, I told you, she'll just shoot you out of a game. She'll shoot you out of a game. She'll shoot you out of a game. I don't know how many times I got to say she'll shoot you out of a game. I did not want her to come back as a free agent because she'll shoot you out of a game. I completely laid the playoffs at her feet. Last year, when they got ousted out of the playoffs in the first round so easily, it was all because Kelsey Mitchell could not work with Caitlin and let Caitlin take the lead. Kelsey Mitchell had to shoot us out of the playoffs. Us, like I played. I hate it when people do that. Had to shoot the team out of the playoffs. So today, when we need Kelsey Mitchell to play a more team balanced game, this is what we actually needed from everybody. We needed balance. No one is going to be the star, or you'd already be the star. You get that? When Caitlin's not in, we don't need someone to step up and be the star. The team is the star. Got it? You got it's like Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. When you don't have Bruce, you got the E Street Band. They're a band. They're not the stars. Okay? It's like Maroon 5 without Adam Levine. You don't have Adam, you got Maroon 5, and there's no good singers. Do you understand that? Maybe there might be. There's a lot of guys in Maroon 5, Big fan. But I'm just saying, you can't replace him, right? You can't replace that voice. Without him, you just got the band. Okay? So keep that in mind. So right now, we don't have Bruce Springsteen. We don't have what fit in whatever your favorite star. I know Bruce Springsteen. He's like 75. Okay, I know. Put in your favorite. There's not a lot of rock bands right now, right? Honestly, not a lot of modern rock bands, so that counts. So I'm gonna use old school stuff. Guns N' Roses. You guys like some Guns N' Roses? If you take Axl Rose out of Guns N' Roses, you got Roses. Or no, you got Guns. You got Guns N' Roses. You know where I'm going. You take Vince Neil out of Motley Crue. I know he's 70. You got the Crew without the Motley. You get it? Okay. So we're not. So my message to Cowboy Kelsey Mitchell is stop shooting. Just stop fucking shooting and go ahead and pass the ball. I'm good with that. Honestly, I'd rather her have stats that are more assists than shots right now because the whole team is just not able to get a rhythm when you got her just jacking it up. Because here's what happens. She gets the ball, and she's going to look to shoot first. Now, I understand a shooting guard looks to shoot first, but this is not what we need from you. Again, you're the E Street Band. You're the maroon you're the 5 without the maroon, okay? You are not the star. You've been in the league like 11 years. You've been an all-star, but you've never been a star. I'm sorry. You got great numbers. This is not your job. If you want to win a ring, you have to be number 2. Back to what I was saying earlier. We don't need everyone to be the star. The team is the star. So I'm not taking away from the team at all. I'm just saying they can't try to do what Caitlin does. And that's what Kelsey Mitchell thinks she needs to do. Now, maybe Stephanie's saying just shoot like a motherfucker. They're wrong. They're both wrong. Because I'll tell you why. Look, and Cowboy Kelsey is the reason why the team lost today. Totally. You can say they didn't play enough defense, but they were playing some solid defense in periods. They just lost their vibe when Kelsey Mitchell's jacking up shots. Let me give you a stat that killed them. Here's the stat that killed them. Okay? Here you go. Ready? Thanks for watching, guys, on the old YouTube machine and the old Rumble machine. Here's the stat that killed you. Kelsey Mitchell, she was, are you ready? And I got 2 stats that kills us. Are you ready? She shot 7 three-pointers. 2 of them went in. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Overall, she was 25% field goal percentage. That's not good enough. You don't do that. I'm sorry. And if the coach really wanted to get a handle on this team, she would take her aside and say, that's not good enough. Because she took, drum roll please, she took 16 fucking shots. 16 shots. You know how many shots she made? 4 out of 16. You might as well take 25 shots and just blow the game apart. You might as well, honestly, might as well not take 1 shot. That you out of, okay, 16 shots, you made 4. You took 7 three-pointers. And I don't know when she's going to get this through her head because this is what she did last year. This felt like watching last year, except Caitlin was on the floor putting up 30. And they were still losing because Kelsey Mitchell in the 4th quarter shoots you out of the game. Now, thanks for joining me, guys, on the old YouTube machine. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Just going over the post game. I'm being honest about Cowboy Kelsey Mitchell. It's like boom, boom, boom. Now look, when she's on fire and that ball goes in, it's Kelsey Missile. She has a beautiful arc. I'm not going to take that away from her. But look, we don't need 16 shots, dude. You can shoot 10. And give those and get some assists, man. How many assists did she have? How many assists? She had 4 assists, which is good. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. She had 4 assists. She led with Aaliyah, so both of them had 4 assists. That's not good enough, but that works. Okay, so I can work with you on that. But come on, Kelsey, come on, man. She got in 32 minutes too. She didn't even get more than 35 minutes and jacked up 16 shots. Part of my problem with it, and this is why I'm making a thing of it, that guys, thanks for watching, is she jacks up so many shots that ricochet and there's no rebounding. And she takes quick shots when you're coming up and you have like a half transition, transition basketball is when you're going full speed, which is what, you're transitioning. Caitlin's going full speed. Usually, that's where magic happens. They don't have the ability to go as fast as she does. And Kelsey Mitchell will go kind of a half speed because she's looking to try to get that layup. If she can't get that layup, she's looking for a three. And it doesn't work. Some of these missed shots were layups that just bounce, and then they're like, where's the foul? Dude, it's not about where's the foul. It's about where are you at when you have the ball in your hand. It's about ball movement. I saw a couple of moments of really crisp ball movement, but then it went to a three when they didn't need to shoot the three, like an extra pass. It's tough. It's tough. I'm being highly critical. Okay, I know you're going to be mad at me, guys, but we have to be critical of this team because they're a bad team right now. They're a bad team, dudes. It's bad right now, and it might get worse. Like, this was not good. Like, yeah, I got to get me a panic button because this is panic button. Okay? This is panic button. This was a bad team that they played, and that team looked better than them, and that team beat them soundly and took them apart in the fourth quarter. It's a bad team. The Mystics are a bad team. So what that means is you're a worse team. Now, Caitlin's on that team tonight. They win that game. Easy. There's just no way they lose that game because there's no superstars on it, and they're a young team, and they had a lot of vulnerabilities. But because Cowboy Kelsey just can't control her shooting, you're always in it against the Fever with Kelsey Mitchell just shooting the lights out. I understand she took 16 shots. Thanks for joining me, guys. I understand she took 16 shots because she's trying to make up for Caitlin's output, but we don't need that. Remember, it's Maroon 5 without the maroon, okay? The band is not the star. It's Adam Levine. You can have a good show without him as long as you stay in your lane and play like a team. The entire team can win this game. You need team wins. You need team rebounding. You need team assists. You need teamwork. There was no teamwork today except in the first quarter. So my bright spots. Do I have bright spots? I don't know. I'm being a D-bag. Let me give you some bright spots, okay? I know. I'm playing the bad guy tonight. Look, I love this team, but I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with this team, man. This is not good enough. There's no excuse on the road to play like that. Not good enough. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so bright spots. Lexi Hull is always keeping you in the game if she can. Okay, she's always Lexi's a bright spot. Okay, she is always ready to play. She kind of had a down game, but that's because the team had a down game. She has this really awesome post up, like fadeaway. It's just air Lexi. I love it. She hit it in the last game. She hit it in this game again. She really knows how to pick her spots, but they really designed plays to take her out. I could tell. They're really trying to take her out. They're being physical with her. She's more physical than you can even imagine. So that's a bright spot. Aaliyah Boston's a bright spot when you get her the ball in the paint. She is so good. I didn't understand. This is what I don't understand, and I think it could be her floating out to try to help and get involved. I don't understand her floating out of the key so far out. Now, you can't stay in the key because you're going to get it's a penalty, but it's called being in the key for 3 seconds, and they don't really have to worry about that because she's never in the key. So that's she's a bright spot. She had some very difficult like baby hooks, which are really beautiful. She nailed 2 of them, one early and one late. And I'm like, where are you at in the middle of the game? She's just gone. She was gone. So she shot 80% field goal percentage. That is a bright spot. She only played. She played 28 minutes, less than 30 minutes, and she 80% on that's good. It was 4 for 5. She's your only bright spot. So my thing is, why is she not getting the ball down there? They didn't have enough defense down there to stop her. I don't know. It's just it's a mystery to me. I'm not sure if they're trying to. I guess. Well, look at it this way. When she comes out high in the key, it's to help Caitlin get the picks because that's important. Their pick and roll is really good. We need to see more of that give and go, that pick and roll with them when Caitlin comes back. We saw it a few times earlier. Again, I know it's early. Guys, but we have to really be honest about the team. Fans have to be honest about their team. It's just better for all of us to be honest about the team and be educated about the game. So She had no threes, which I appreciated. Don't take the threes, but yeah, she's just out there so far out. So when she gets the ball, it's like she gets isolated a lot, and it's like okay, and then everyone's covered, and it's like okay, the only real cutter is two cutters. You have Sophie C is a cutter, but Lexi Hole and Cowboy Kelsey, those are your only cutters. And so her Boston, when she's that high up outside of the key, her options are limited. She's got great hands. She can really pass that ball. Teams this year, what I'm noticing, they're really taking away the passing lanes for the Fever. So Boston was 4 for 5, which was dope, 80%. But she missed 2 free throws, 50%. That's bad. But we'll stay on the bright spots. Another bright spot is this. Okay, another bright spot is this. This might surprise you. There's still time to be a first place seed. There's plenty of time. So that's the bright spot. Another bright spot, there's always another game. Okay, I think they play Connecticut next. That's an 0-4 team or something, right? Okay, bright spot, 0-5 or something. Huge bright spot. That's a team you should beat, even without Caitlin Clark. Okay, now what I saw tonight did disturb me, so I'm not feeling like that's an easy win now. I think they're going to have to work for it because Connecticut needs a win. They're due a win. And you got the Fever coming in wounded, so there you go. Even after a loss like this, I don't think that motivates the Fever. And that's not a bad thing. Teams do need to move on from losses and not sit around and go, we lost, so we're going to be motivated for the next game. That's not how pro sports work. You drop that game and move to the next one the next day. I mean, you learn your lessons, but you don't dwell in the past game. So I don't expect that to be a motivation. But it works the other way, too, where if you're not really motivated by a loss and you drop that game, like what do you work off of? So some people like Jordan, the great ones, Caitlin Clark, they have to create their own motivation. That's what this team needs. Guys, thanks for joining me. My name is Jason J. Daniel. I'm trying to go over the bright spots of this epic disaster. The Mystics bewitched, did their voodoo on the Fever and made the Fever look like a bad team. And I got to be honest, they're a bad team right now. Okay, they're 2-3. That's not a good team. They got beat by a team that was 2-2. They got beat by a worse team. They're a wounded team right now. Here's your last bright spot I can come up with right now. Boston, you got Lexi that's very solid. I didn't think the coaching was bad. I think that it was really tricky to work with this team. I think this team just does whatever they want to do. You can't blame what happened tonight on the coach. I didn't see any coaching mistakes. I actually saw a good timeout. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We're live right now on all the internets. I saw some really positive coaching, some smart stuff. I saw a timeout when you needed it. You know, she did her best to settle him down. I think when you got Cowboy Kelsey out there just rootin' tootin' and just shooting at everything, jacking up 16 shots, jacking up threes that are bad, and then getting mega ricochets. It's tough, man. It's tough. I saw some good paint. I saw some good rebounding at times. I saw some good work in the paint when they were in there defensively. I could tell they were working on that. There's some bright spots. The last bright spot I'll give you is this. If you watch my prediction video, it was about 2 weeks ago now. You can find it in my archive. By the way, all of my videos on YouTube for the Fever recaps are archived, so you can watch all the games as we go. Haven't missed one yet. Knock on wood. This is wood. Here's what I predicted. I predicted that the Fever could lose 8 games. It's a 44-game season. Realize that. More games. So I predicted the Fever could lose at least 8 games or less and still get in the 3rd, 2nd, or 1st spot in the playoffs. You don't want to be in 7 again. You just don't want that. You want to have this year, you want to go in very dominant because intimidation is everything. So there you go. So keep that in mind. 3 losses, only 3 losses. So that's a silver lining. Look, you could lose 6 or 7 and then go on a tear and win 20 games. That's totally possible with this team. And when Caitlin comes back, that's totally reasonably possible to think they could go on a tear. And okay, I just come up with a few more bright spots. Caitlin Clark will be rested. She looked very rested today. They had her watching the babies. She's doing baby watch. They had her doing the daycare. They had her taking photos, signing autographs. She's coaching. She was looking her aura was really powerful. I think And then one of the announcers said something interesting. They were talking. She talked to Caitlin, and you probably heard it when you watched the game. It's towards the end of the game. Something about Caitlin really wants to be out there, but she has to rest. That was an indicator to me that she could probably suit up. But they're telling her you need to rest because they clearly she was hurt. She was playing hurt. We all know this now. And the last 2 games are really brutal. Now she can go into super goat mode, but you don't need that all the time. And if you go into super goat mode and it doesn't help your team win, there's a problem. Okay, like with just the way things are going. And so you don't want to put that much pressure on your star. She's a $1 billion franchise. They put her on the shelf. This is the best time of the year to put her on the shelf, like right now in this stretch. It's only going to get tougher. They're not playing tough teams in the next 2 weeks at all. I don't think at all until they get, I'm looking at my calendar, until they get 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks out from now, they're going to have some tough teams again. Now they played the Liberty and the Dream. The Dream's a tougher team than we thought, so I'll take that back as far as the competition. But going forward, this is a nice stretch. Now you can't lose. You can't lose to Connecticut. I don't know what to tell you. If you lose to Connecticut, that's bad. It's bad. So let me give you some pregame thoughts. And then we'll get into some of the stats, and we'll wrap up in like 5. This will be a short one because it was a disaster. It was a disaster. And again, I'm going through the stats here. I just didn't see any bright spots. I didn't see anyone play well. They were super disjointed. Again, it's the maroon. It's the 5 without the maroon. Okay, they have to learn how to play like a team. We need everybody to chill out and everybody just get the ball in the basket, play some low post shit, man. Get Aaliyah get her in the paint, get her in the post, feed her. She's an animal, man. Just get her warm. She's the kind of player you need to get her warm, right? You can't have her in and out of being warm. You got to keep her warm. And with Cowboy Kelsey just jacking up shots, it does take away the intensity of everybody else working really hard because they're going to work hard to open her up for her first few shots, but then she's just going to take whatever shot she wants to take, whether she's open or not, and that's not how it works. Team sport. This right now, it's a team sport for them. So my pregame thoughts. I had some pregame thoughts. I thought, okay, don't lose. Okay, don't lose. So because I have my thoughts going into it, right? So I'm don't lose. They didn't listen to me there. They fucking lost big. That's a big loss, honestly, huge. So don't lose was a pregame thought. Didn't help me out there. Crying about the refs. I know a lot of you guys were like, right on, Stephanie. Go out there and cry about the refs. Okay, well, did that work last year? No. It was much worse last year. Were they actually assaulting Caitlin Clark on the floor? Yes. We're not seeing that this year. It is different. But going and crying about foul calls never works, dudes. It never works. So I know she did it for the fans, honestly. I think she just did it for the fans to make the fans happy because they're struggling and not being as dominant as everybody thought they would be. We all thought they were going to come out and just knock people out. That's clearly not what's going to happen. They're having a tougher go at it. But look, like I predicted, this team could win 36 games, lose 8. I'm still with that prediction. Okay, my prediction is still correct. We're going through a tough time. But so Stephanie crying about the refs doesn't do any good. It just doesn't. So it looks like it did make a difference, though. Okay? It's not going to work, though. Here's my thing. You want to cry about the refs, cool, but go and take shots that the refs can give you fouls on. Okay? You're not going to, if you cry about the refereeing, then you go out and have Kelsey Mitchell shoot 16 bad shots and jack up 9 3-pointers or 7 or whatever, and they're all bad shots. You're not getting calls for Kelsey Mitchell on 3-point plays. You barely get that. You only get a 3-point play call, which is 4-point play, in the WNBA if you're one of the stars. They're not giving it to Kelsey Mitchell. Not happening. And in fact, she jacks up shots before a lot of times before the defense even closes on her so she can get the foul. She's not patient. She and jacks the shot up. And it's like a ricochet. Dude, if you just play with some strategy, dude. But my point is if Stephanie's going to cry about the referees, then have your folks go in and get fouled at the hoop. They didn't do much of that. And make the layup, dudes. So it's easy math. And then make your free throws, dudes. Like, this team's bad right now. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm watching what my eyeballs are showing me. I'm not seeing anything that's like, this is a good team. They're 2-3. They're bad right now. I believe in them. I believe they can be a first place team. We all know that. But these are the things they have to figure out. Oh, come on, it's real life here. Not just because you like Caitlin Clark shooting threes, does that mean you're going to win games? And that doesn't win you games. Clearly, it's not going to win you games with this team that can't support the work she does. I mean, I may sound like I'm being a little grouchy, but I'm just being honest. Like that tonight, I'm being real. That was a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of time to watch 2.5 hours of Kelsey Mitchell just be a cowboy and just shoot at everything. Pow, 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 pow. Waste of my time. It's a waste of time to see Aaliyah Boston so outside of the key she can't get in for shots. Waste of time. It's a waste of my time and your time to see this team miss free throws. So I'm just saying they can play better. This is pro sports, okay? If you're new to watching the Fever, this is pro sports. You can't just have good publicity and good social media and go out and lose games and expect people to pay for it, people to be engaged. I'm engaged because I'm a huge fan. A lot of people are engaged. But we need this team to be lethal on the road. You can't win at home and be scary at home and then go on the road and be a pussycat. Teams won't be afraid of you. The Mystics, that's a team that should have been afraid of the Fever. With Caitlin Clark, they would have been. And we have to understand there's an intimidation factor with Caitlin Clark. Okay, when she's not there, that is a boost up for the other team. You're on the road, that's a boost up for the other team. There's all these boost ups this team had. This team, but I will say this, the Fever came out in the first quarter with intensity. They took it really serious. I thought, and they had a good first quarter, but they just couldn't make it work. So, Stephanie, my message to you, I still love you. We're in it to win it. But you're crying about the referees is not going to work if your team will not drive into the paint and shoot to get free throws. Okay? And that three, was it at the end of the second half or whatever? I'm sorry, end of the first half where Kelsey Mitchell jacked up some lame, tried to go coast to coast and just jacked up a lame shot. And then everyone's like, she didn't get a foul. Dudes, that's not the point. The point is she needs to go in and be more methodical, do some movements, do some technique to give the referees a chance to give her a foul. Okay? So we got to work together here, work with the referees. And I'm kind of over the complaining. I really am. I'm kind of over the bitching about we didn't get a foul. And look, Caitlin even did it if that's what was going on. Now it was tough to see, but the announcer said that Caitlin was going over there and talking to the referee, and it kind of looked like that. And I think she even said foul when she was talking. I kind of need that to chill. It's just that you're losing me when you just bitch about every call. It's just not mature. And you're losing. So if you're winning, that's a little different. But you got to start winning. So let's see here. I know you probably hate my guts, guys. I'm just being honest. So that was another one of my thoughts that didn't help. My other thought was Stephanie came out and said that Sophie C was going to play some point guard. I think I saw a couple of possessions. So I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. There was a few possessions. She took the ball up, but I didn't see her run a play. So running the point is running a play, not just take the ball up. That's different. So I wasn't really impressed with that. So those are my pregame thoughts. And again, Cowboy Kelsey just loves to shoot, man. Got to be honest with you. It's a bad team right now. Got to be honest about it. I'm, again, a waste of everybody's time. That was a waste of time tonight, man. Especially after you got to make a statement without Caitlin, but it's cool. So I did take some notes. I'll do a little recap for you. So at the very end of the game, you had your only fast break opportunity. I think it was DB was bringing the ball up. She was wide open and steps out of bounds. Great. And then Cowboy Kelsey got that open layup at the very end with like 30 seconds left. Wide open. Can't make the layup. Oh, my God. So, and then, Boston's like a power forward tonight instead of a center. Oh, my God. I'm like, what's going on here? So back to first quarter. Let's just do, let me just say this. You were beat by a 2-3 team. Now you're 2-3. You're not good. You're just not good. Sorry, guys. They were playing a 2-3 team, and now they're 2-3. So in the first quarter, Colson came out and looked really bad. Wasn't happy about that. Had a couple of, they had a lot, really good energy, really good energy. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We're about to wrap up here. You can rewind it if you want to catch up on our thoughts here. Howard did look focused, which I really liked. Howard had a really good first quarter, second quarter. Then Lexi came out, and I'm loving me some Lexi, putting some energy into it, getting really physical, good stuff. And then it turned into the worst basketball I've ever seen. The last 3 minutes, everybody's bad. I'm like, what is going on, man? Everybody was bad. And then I noticed in the first quarter, Cowboy Kelsey's just going to try to be Caitlin. Not working. Did not work out. Caitlin can take 16 shots, not Kelsey Mitchell. There was some good defense in the paint, like I mentioned earlier. I was really happy with that. Colson did start getting it together, had some nice handles. I was happy with that. And then I was loving the paint. I was like, get it in the paint. We saw some paint move. I was like, get it in the paint. We saw some good offense. Again, Aaliyah Boss was 4 for 5. She was 4 for 5. She was 80% shooting, but they didn't get it to her. They got it to her in the first. They got it to her in the fourth. I'm like, what's going on? So I love the energy. The urgency was really dope. It was really dope. And, I was just like not sure why Boston was playing so high in the key, the notes I had. So then they had a lead. And I was telling myself, okay, you got to hold this lead, guys. Hold the lead. Start to slow it down. You were that aggressiveness built a big lead, but then they just kind of fell flat because, there's only so much energy you can expend. But they were hitting some shots. And in the beginning, then they started playing bad basketball. And my thought was, if they had only been a little more accurate, they could have had a really big lead coming out of the first. That's how good that first quarter was for them in spots. So I saw what I wanted to see, but that was just it. And again, it's Cowboy Kelsey shooting them out of the game. I told you she was going to do this. I did love the fast pace. Now, they were 43% shooting out of the first quarter, which was crazy. But that wasn't sustained. My feeling, though, when I was watching that first quarter, maybe you felt the same way. My feeling was if somebody can get hot, this is going to be a good night. Just somebody can get hot, but nobody got hot. And later on, I realized, well, Kelsey Mitchell's just ruining the rhythm because every time they had some sort of rhythm, she jacked up a bad shot. She did do 4 assists, and it tied for high on the team, so I'll give her that. Bonner was starting to feel. Bonner hit that 3 for the outside, DB for 3, so that was nice. I was like 3D. I was excited. I was like, woo! I was excited. That didn't last. And then they was hitting their free throws. I'm like, we're doing this. A good first quarter. They get into the second quarter. Bonner is starting to feel it. She's looking good. She's coming in hot. The defense just decides to go away. They stop playing defense. What are you going to do about that? Apparently lose. They were still hitting their free throws. Sophie was getting some weird foul calls on her. It was weird. That one referee with the bad hair, the dude referee, seemed like he was all over her. It was weird. And then you had the call later on with the ball going off her leg, which was a good call. But they were trying. I think that timeout for Stephanie was a momentum changing timeout. She was like, let's just take a timeout, whatever. You're not winning that call. That was not a good challenge. As far as the challenge, you don't challenge that because it's really tough to overturn it. Thanks for watching, guys, on the old YouTube machine. My name is Jason J. Daniel, breaking down the quarters of the game, the really bad game today, but we're going to try to bounce back. But I thought that guy kind of had it out for it. It was really weird. But then it kind of eased up. It really did. There were some bad calls, but it wasn't a lot because honestly, the Fever, they just weren't rushing the rim and they weren't giving the refs a chance to give them, a lot of opportunities in the clutch. They were getting a lot of free throws early, but that doesn't help you when you're starting to not play defense. There was some hustle. We saw some give and go, which was a lot of fun. I was like, right on. Okay, where's our okay? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so, all right, we go into the third quarter. All right, and we're like, cool. The Mystics, it was really clear to me the Mystics have no superstars, but they're playing like a team. They're a young team playing like a team because they're feeling they can beat the Fever. That's a good win for them. It really is. Later on, when you're looking at, the record books, they're like, hey, you beat the Fever. No one's going to remember Caitlin wasn't on it. So they're feeling good. So then everything changed. You go into the third quarter. I wasn't feeling good about the third quarter. I think it was virtually tied. It was like a 2-point difference because the Fever had given up a lead, or maybe they were down. I don't quite remember. But the one thing that was pretty clear to me going into the third at halftime is like, Kelsey Mitchell is not making good choices. We got to chill this out. And of course, she didn't. She just put on her cowboy hat and her little six shooters started just shooting the lights out, just shooting us out of the game. Cowboy Kelsey, yeah, can't stop shooting. So there was no point game because Kelsey Mitchell was shooting them out, and then Kelsey was just playing really mid, right? Just was not. We're not going anywhere. I'm like, okay, we got to chill this out. And then right at the end of the third quarter, it was pretty clear to me, she's just shooting us out of this game. We're not coming back. It was over in the third because Kelsey Mitchell was only getting more desperate. She always presses. She gets desperate. I guess she feels like the more she presses, she'll get her shot there. But they were kind of leaving her wide open, and she just wasn't hitting it. Who knows? Maybe she's hurt. Who knows? Colson was coming in and out and making it worse. The officials were being a bunch of amateurs, I wrote down, so it was a little bit of a shit show. So I have to take that back. I mean, I wrote down that they were bad. My recollection, I didn't think it was that bad, but we'll just say my notes can't lie. And then at the end of the third, going into the fourth, they're down, and I'm right. This is what I wrote. Kelsey Mitchell is out of control. She's shooting us out of this game, baby. I can't do this. Shooting us out of the game, man. And I'm like, just like always, man, never fails. She shoots it. That's why I'm like, look, you know what? You bring her back as a free agent for 1 year on purpose because they weren't sure what was going to happen because she shoot him out of games last year. And you're like, okay, cool. Well, what's left, right? We might give her a 1 year. Let's see. You can get anybody to shoot 16 bad shots. It's just not paying off for me. It's early, but it's not paying off for me. And so going into the fourth, they bring in Lexi. She hits a nice three-pointer. I'm like, yes, maybe this could energize us. And then the team just lets 4 points go. Just 2 back-to-back scores. Great. Then Donta, here's what happens. So Dantas comes out, who I love. I got love for Dantas. Comes out, jacks up a 3. Why, dude? Why? Now, she can hit that 3. And I think they were down, or maybe they were even, I don't know. It was like really tight. She shoots that 3, and it was just not the shot you want. I'm like, okay, guys, can we just see a lead and go, hey, can we just look in the mirror? We look in the mirror, team, and go, we always give up big leads in the third and fourth. Maybe we should work on that shit a little bit. Work on that. So instead of being judicious with the ball, which is what you do, remember, when you are Maroon 5 and you don't have your Maroon, you're the 5, okay? You don't have Adam Levine. You're just the band. The band plays together. That's the band's job. You're not the star. We're not looking for a replacement singer here. We got the singer. When you're Guns N' Roses, you don't have Axl. You're just the Guns and the Roses, I guess. You're just the Roses. Just play as a team, motherfuckers. So anyway, they didn't get that memo. So Jantis jacks up the shot. Normally I'm okay with it, but I wasn't okay then because it kills the momentum. And then that's when they had that's when the Mystics had 2 back-to-back scores as a result of that stupid 3. And look, let me get all scientific on you. That ball is a smaller ball than in the NBA. It's lighter. It is lighter and smaller. If you didn't realize that, maybe you don't. That's why it's a different color because syndicate. I even have one. This is a smaller ball. Okay, I guess you can't see that. My hand fits right around that ball, and I don't have a giant hand, right? I can kind of palm it. Maybe that's right. Okay, this is a smaller ball. Okay, that's why it's a different color. Okay, so here's my point. When you're shooting a far three, and it hits the front of the rim, it's going way back. It's not gonna go arc. It's not gonna arc up like an NBA rebound would. These rebounds go way back. So then when everybody's inside to get, kind of a key, that indicated to me that was not a design three because there was nobody back there, right? That's how you know if a wild three is taken and it's not Caitlin because she has that arc. That's why a good three you'll see has an arc. If a three hits the rim, it is the back of the rim, it's popping up. Have you noticed that? If a long three hits the back of a rim with these balls, pops up. If a long three hits the front of the rim, boom, it's going back to it's like a transition basket attempt for the other team. You got to think this shit through. So she jacks up a three. So instead of getting 3 points, it cost them 4. So like a -7 on that. They didn't get the 3, and then they lost 4. And then there's no bright spots. The intensity was gone, and I'm like, we need Caitlin Clark. So there you go. So like I said, guys, just I had to be honest with you. It's a bad team right now. We have to be honest about it. They played bad. They are a bad team. They're 2-3. They're not at 500. They win next game. They're still a bad team. Okay, it's going to take some games to not be a bad team. Here's how this works. Thanks, guys, for joining me on YouTube. We're about to wrap up. Just kind of wrapping up the post-game show on this brutal loss to the Mystics. What has to happen is you're 2-3 now. It's your bad team. You beat Connecticut. They're a bad team. You're a bad team. You beat a bad team. You're supposed to beat that bad team, so you're still bad teams. You go 3-3. You're 500. Bad team. Then I think you get the Mystics again. Okay, you got to beat the Mystics. I think they're at home. That still makes you a bad team because then you'll be 4-3. Okay, and you're beating 2 bad teams. So it's going to take some time for them to get out of bad team mode. And if Caitlin comes back and they're 500 and they've lost a few of these easy, I guess nothing's easy, but lost a few of these games they should win, then it's Caitlin Clark in the bad team. They're a bad team. So you're looking at this team being a bad team for the next 3 or 4 weeks until they can get out of this slump. If Caitlin was on the team and they start beating, they would beat these teams. Like this is just, it was unfortunate because it was fortunate yet unfortunate. This is the time she needs to rest, but these are the teams that you could feast on if you're her. She could have triple doubles every night against this team, but it's not going to happen. So woulda, coulda, shoulda. We have to look at the future. The best thing this team can do is just fucking win games. Okay? Just win. Winning solves every problem. Winning creates all sorts of good chemistry. Winning brings you opportunities. Just win, baby. And that's all there is to it. Guys, thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Jason J. Daniel. Follow me on TikTok at Real Jason J. Daniel. I'm doing WNBA TikToks. My TikToks are quite interesting. They're, hit maybe a little 100,000 views, maybe 200,000, maybe a quarter milli, sometimes 500. My TikToks do pretty good. So join the party. I do a lot of what's interesting. There's a lot of interesting discussion in my TikToks. I don't block my comments, so it's the wild, wild west. So after this show, if you want to get in the mix, I get like 1,000 comments a day, 500 to 1,000. Check it out. Jump in the TikTok machine, Real Jason J. Daniel. If you appreciate this show, give it a like and share it, or just like it. A little comment saying "great show" would be helpful. All these things are cool. It sends a message to the algorithm that you like this. Whoa, okay, sorry about that. I'm excited. If you are following me on X, I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe on YouTube, my subscriptions are really growing. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys, man. Like, this really makes it worth it. I'm not monetized, just so you know. Not making any money off this. I am monetized on TikTok. That's going pretty well. YouTube, I'm just growing my audience, and I'm just doing this because I enjoy it, and I want to provide a service because there's not a lot of educated podcasts on WNBA. I'll be honest with you. Now, more people are starting to get involved in it. NBA people are doing it. Old WNBA, old stars are getting involved, but there's not a lot of smaller podcasts that have educated talk. I'm trying to provide that. So thank you if you could subscribe. I really appreciate that. I'm also on Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble, thank you. Subscribe on Rumble. And I'm everywhere. The Jason J. Daniel Show. I actually do TV show reviews, and I do interviews with politicians and interesting people and actors. I'm an actor, so I also do different things on my podcast, but I also like to do the fever talk. So I'm not just sports, but I do a lot of sports. So thanks for joining, and follow me everywhere you can. Guys, again, appreciate everything you're doing. Again, It's we're gonna hang in there. I can't tell you it's gonna be okay because this is pro sports. This is the real world. But and it's bad. It might get worse, but we're gonna hang in there. Okay. Take care, guys. Vaya con Dios. Go with God.